do want to talk about Sunday because I'm excited for this. I bet you are because you're heading to Wembley, aren't you, as well, with the press pack, the patch journo. So looking forward to covering a big final as well.
No, like I say in the comments, it's an absolute disaster. Another trip to Wembley. I'm absolutely sick of this. But yeah, very, very much looking forward to it. Always a privilege to get down to Wembley and some, been some great days in recent history for Liverpool there as well. And, they should be big favourites for this one as well. And again, keep going back to at the start of the season, I think I would have said multiple times to you that third place in a cup win or a decent cup run would have been a great season for Liverpool. And here they are with the Premier League title already wrapped up and the chance to add a domestic cup as well. It would be absolutely incredible for the manager to do that in his first season. So, yeah, very, very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good game because Newcastle are a good side as well. Their fans are excellent too.
Yeah.
So it's got all the ingredients, but obviously the most important thing from the Liverpool perspective is to go out there and win it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a result that matters solely on Sunday. Is it a strange way? Because people will look at the PSG game, a big game, what's happened. Is a final like this the best way just to get over that it should all be positive? The trip to Wembley, the chance to lift silverware. You can just eradicate last night in one swoop on Sunday, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. I think no one's going to be too disheartened. Well, I'm sure the owners will be too disheartened because they constantly are every day of their lives. But I think, I think there will be, if you can win that, and it'll feel like getting the Champions League exit out of your system, won't it? And, I think maybe a bit of reality will set in of kind of, okay, we can't be too heartbroken. Liverpool didn't win a treble this season as if that was the expected minimum going into it. To get this domestic cup for Arne Slot to get his first trophy on board, and already they're going to follow it up with the Premier League. That'd be pretty incredible, really. So it's a big opportunity, and I think the biggest disappointment if they weren't to win this one would be that there is a gap between them and Newcastle, and so it's they have to go out there and show it really, and a Newcastle win would be a shock. So they've got to get out there and play well and show that there is a dearth between these sides, and also that there's kind of not. As good as kind of PSG were and that they ended that Champions League run, that Newcastle aren't quite at that level and Liverpool are a kind of a step above it.
Yeah, absolutely. It does feel like there is a gap and we can show that. Should be excited for this, show that level on Sunday. I mean, a few comments which I think are fair to say that didn't want extra time to then go out because it could have a slight knock-on for Sunday. Hopefully there is the recovery time. Just in terms of a few positions, we're expecting Trent to come out. So it's going to be surely Jarell Quansah at right back on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, I just no other options really to do that, is there? I thought Jarell did really well, to be fair. It's not his natural position, but I thought he did as well as you could hope for, really. And I think there's a little bit of an upside in that it's not going to be Anthony Gordon down his side. As good as Harvey Barnes is as a player, I think Gordon's just maybe that little step above, isn't he? So that's good news for him. And, he's had a good warm-up in terms of playing against PSG as well. So he should hopefully have a bit of rhythm. And, Liverpool are just going to have to cope without that ball progressor at right back that they're so used to and find other ways to get the ball up the pitch. I think that's got to be the focus in training between now and then, really, is how they do that. But yeah, it's a big day for Jarell, and hopefully he can kind of stand up to it.
Yeah, fingers crossed on that. And midfield's an interesting one because we say some players went off. Gravenberch played the whole game. I thought he looked absolutely exhausted as that went on. Curtis Jones, we know his talent at keeping the ball. Maybe didn't have the best performance last night. Do you think it is going to be the standard Grav, Mack and Szoboszlai, or do you think Curtis Jones might get in there?
It's interesting. Maybe I just wonder whether Curtis has kind of played himself out of it because he was really notably poor, wasn't he, when he came on? It's strange with Curtis. I think he's been overall very, very good this season, but a few kind of quite poor games sprinkled in there as well. So, it's a little bit of that inconsistency he just needs to get out of his system, really. But, I'm fascinated to see what he does in terms of, does he, because his striker options are such a problem at the moment, does he go with that two false nines thing again and hope that kind of works? That's the real kind of interesting debate for me, really, in terms of how he goes about it, because it's it's very, very hard to pick between Núñez and Jota on form at the moment, because both are not really there, or they weren't there yesterday at least. So honestly, very, very hard to pick the side for this one. And I said similar about last time as well.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, obviously, say Jota's probably played his way out with his recent performances. You'd look at Darwin Núñez and think, for Arne Slot, does he trust him? He'll probably deliver a 2 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. There doesn't seem to be an in-between at the moment. Is the forward line realistically for you the one where you're just looking and thinking it's near on impossible just now to think who will go for?
Yeah, and I don't think he's helped at all by the fact that Gakpo's just looked so unfit yesterday when he came on. I mean, the obvious thing to do if you weren't going with the 2 false 9 things is to Gakpo left, Diaz up the middle, and Mo Salah on the right. But again, that doesn't feel like an option, because Gakpo is seemingly not there physically. I mean, whether he can remedy that between now and Sunday, we'll have to see. And maybe he does sneak into the starting lineup, but he didn't look likely on the basis of his performance yesterday. So it's so difficult, isn't it? To know what he's going to do, and don't have the kind of track record like we did with Jurgen, so many games looking at how he played and what he would do, and we kind of had a knowledge at a certain point of what he was going to do in any big game. Don't feel like that with Slot yet. Don't really have enough experience, so it's another massive selection for him, really.
Yeah, and people will naturally, I think, ask questions like, why isn't Chiesa getting on the pitch? Because Gakpo literally looked not even half fit, I think you could describe it as, last night. So you wonder if there is a bit of time between now and the final. But there are some real tough decisions for Arne Slot to make. I suppose the only thing I want to finish on with this final, Liverpool are still favourites, aren't they? I know it's been a tough game, and literally you'll look at Newcastle and say they won the other night, but you'll also look at Newcastle and say, no Anthony Gordon, Lewis Hall's out as well, Sven Botman. So their entire left side has really sort of been pulled out there. Liverpool's experience, there is a lot to be optimistic and be excited about for Sunday, isn't there?
Yeah, this is it. And I think we have to remember primarily, really, that Newcastle are a great side. They can absolutely win this game. We're not playing them down at all, but they're not PSG's level. And so therefore, we'll see a better Liverpool. I'm pretty certain. I thought Liverpool played well last night anyway. Let's not forget that, as much as the negativity. I think, so if Liverpool play at that level again, I don't think Newcastle will be able to cope with it. And Liverpool dominated Newcastle very, very recently as well, didn't they? And beating them 2-0 at Anfield. So you've got all that match-winning experience, the trophy-winning experience that Newcastle don't have. There's a lot of reason to believe that Liverpool are strong favourites, and they are strong favourites to the bookies. I think the bookies make them about kind of 75% likely to win the game. So that gives you an idea, really, and that shows that there is a gap between these two teams. But of course, it's up to Liverpool to show it. And I know there's a little bit of concern about the extra time and what that's done to Liverpool as well. But you must remember, it is only an extra 30 minutes. Newcastle played on the Monday anyway. There's not a huge difference there. So that's kind of helped level things out. I think if this one were to go to extra time, that would be an interesting one and tricky for Liverpool, because they're doing 2 extra times back to back. But also, I just think that they can get the job done in 90 minutes anyway, because I think they are a better team than Newcastle. They have all that mentality and quality, really, and I just think they'll show that there's a difference between these two sides.
Yeah, fingers crossed for Sunday. We will see what happens. And people, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to have to comment on this as well. I can't believe we are top of the league. We're going to the final on Sunday, which I'm massively looking forward to. So excited about the negativity. We got beat by the best side we've seen at Anfield this season. And by the way, we gave them a hell of a game. It goes to penalties, which can go either way. Yes, in the summer, there's things we'd like to do. But being honest, just some of the comments I'm seeing as well about, no, you've not called out FSG. On this pod that I've done with David for over 2 years, in this season, there must be about a dozen times we've said on the contracts, if they're not done by the summer and these players go on a free, we're going to hammer them. So that, just to be clear, that's just an outright lie in the chat panel there, or you're not watching or you're not listening. And maybe, like David said, you're just going to hear what you want to hear somewhat. But to try and bring it around and do a full 360, it's right to say, David, let's finish on this note. We should be excited about Sunday. We should be looking forward to it. There's a real chance of a double. these Reds have been brilliant this season. It doesn't mean everything's perfect, but there's a lot to look forward to still, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know. I mean, maybe some supporters who only started supporting Liverpool relatively recently think this is just how it kind of always is. But I mean, you know as differently as I do that, you know, for the last 30 odd years, this is as good as it gets. I mean, the idea that they're cruising into this Premier League title, they've got a Wembley final that we get to go to on Sunday. You know, these are the great days, really. This is what it was like in Liverpool's peak years that we both missed. So, you know, really should be kind of relishing that and enjoying it and really looking forward to it. I mean, the idea that they were going to do a cup double in a Premier League and cup double, hopefully, in Arne Slot's first season, I would never have dreamed it would have gone this well. So, obviously, let's hope that they can get over the line on Sunday at Wembley. But it's it's going to be a great day. Looking forward to getting down there, and then the bases as well. The other thing to kind of think is off the back of this season, even more to look forward to, because this is Slot's first season with no signings basically.
No.
Might be about to get even better as well. So loads and loads to enjoy. Is there how many other clubs out there are having as much fun this season as Liverpool? I'd say not very many, and yet too many kind of steeped in misery about it. I'll never really understand that mentality, to be honest.
Yeah, just think, people, if you want to be miserable, there's a club down the East Lancs Road who was supposed to run out of money by Christmas, and now there's a guy putting up or threatening to put up a £1 billion tent by the looks of it to the circus. So keep that in mind. But there you go. So on Wednesday, the 12th of March, there's only a few days to the Carabao Cup final. If you need reminding, Liverpool are top of the league. Liverpool are heading to Wembley. There is plenty to look forward to. All it needs me to say as ever is, for the chat, the analysis, the small rant, and batting away all the negativity, David, it is appreciated as ever.
Thank you for having me.
And ladies and gents, that was another Media Matters for Anfield Index.